Hi, thanks for using my court coach. I'm Sarah and I'll be your instructor today as we talk about the stipulation to establish or modify child support and order, also known as Form FL-350. As with all our court forms, you want to fill in your identifying case caption information at the top. This form is a simplified form to use if you guys have reached an agreement on child support. It includes all the fields of information that the court would need to know, and you can just fill it in instead of having to write up your own written agreement. So in any child support order, the court needs to know what incomes it was based off of. So in line 1, you have the opportunity to write in each party's net monthly disposable income. If you have access to a child support calculator instead, then you can attach a copy of the printout of the computer calculation, and then you don't have to fill in the incomes. You just mark box 1B instead. Line 2, you want to list the percentage of time that each child or the children spend with each parent. Line 3, if you have calculated in a hardship into your calculation, then you would list that here, either that it was being granted to mother or to father, and the amount of that hardship per month. And then you'd want to give the reasons why. Again, the reasons for a hardship can only be limited to 3 scenarios. It is either where a parent is experiencing high health medical expenses. It can be where there has been catastrophic loss, or it can be where a parent has other children from a different relationship in their care that they also have to support, and their ability to support them is limited by their income. If there is a time duration for the hardship, then you would want to list the date that it goes until. In line 4, you're going to list who the payor of support is, include their name there. And you need to include what that guideline amount is, that amount that has been calculated pursuant to statewide formula. Line 5, you're going to mark this if you are agreeing to the guideline amount that's stated up here. If you do not agree to this, leave box 5 unchecked and mark box 6 instead, which says the guideline amount should be rebutted because of the following. And then below that, you're going to mark the box 6A and include what the amount is that you are agreeing to if it's a non-guideline amount. And the explanation here is just that it's in the best interest of the children and the needs of the children will be met. If there's other explanation for why you're agreeing to a non-guideline formula, you can include that in line 6B. Line 7 just summarizes the child support that you guys are agreeing to, and you would want to include the effective date, who the child support is for, the monthly amount, and who it will be payable to. This is not a ton of space, so if you need to include a separate sheet of paper to continue on as an attachment, that's fine. You'd want to total up, if there's multiple children, the total amount of child support, and then you can include a schedule for how it's to be paid, either on the 1st of the month or other, maybe 1st and 15th. If you leave this blank, that's fine. As far as the payment schedule, it will be considered paid in full so long as it's paid by the end of the month in that scenario. If you guys are agreeing to additional child support above and beyond the base child support amount, then in 7B, you would mark the box that says 7B, and there's options to include an amount for childcare costs, healthcare costs, special educational or other needs of the children, or any other expenses that you can anticipate. And these are just dollar amounts only, by the way. You can then add those to the total and put that in line 7C. And again, if you want to include a schedule, you have the opportunity to do so right here. In line 8, if the two of you agree that one of the parents is to provide health insurance for the children, then you would list that parent's name in 8A. 8B gives you the opportunity to opt to share in uncovered medical expenses. Those are typically shared equally, but however you guys agree to share them, then you would list those percentages here in 8B. In line 9, it states an earnings assignment order is issued. It is not necessarily prepared for you, but you just have the right to seek an earnings assignment order if you would like, and that is a garnishment essentially. If the two of you agree to stay the earnings assignment, in other words, you are waiving your right to garnish wages, then you would mark box 9B and include how you intend for the support to be paid, right here where it says specify. Line 10, don't worry about this. This is just some mandatory language that is required in every child support order. In line 11, if you are agreeing to share in any sort of transportation costs, you would mark this box and specify the percentages that each parent will pay towards those travel expenses. Line 12, if you are in agreement to share with each other, if your employer changes or employment changes, you would mark this box. And this just states that you agree to notify the other if that information changes. 13, any other agreements you reach can go here. I think it's not a terrible idea to include that each party also agrees to share in childcare costs and the percentages of each party's responsibility for purposes of employment. That's a pretty common order, so long as you have young children that require childcare. Line 14, it states that you're fully informed of your rights. Line 15, you're agreeing to make this agreement freely without coercion or duress. And line 16, that the right to support has not been assigned to any county. There's no application for public assistance is pending. You would mark that. If the right to support has been assigned to a county, or there is an application for public assistance pending, then you need to list the county name. And if you do check this, that probably means that your local child support agency is involved in the case. They will need to write their names here, sign and date this agreement to sign off on it. Assuming that there is no right to support that's been assigned to the county and no application for public assistance pending, then you don't need to worry about getting a signature from your local child support agency. Finally, below, each party will fill in their name, sign, and date, and then this gets submitted to the court for processing, and the court will fill out this bottom part that says 17, the court orders. And assuming they sign it, you now have an enforceable child support order. I hope you found this video helpful. Good luck.